Okay, the answers to the background knowledge chapter, exercise A.1. Question 1. Find the distance between these 2 points. So the first thing we need to do is label our points with our facts. So this is going to be x1, y1, x2, y2. So they are our facts. Now we need to draw our formula. So d equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared. From there we need to substitute in. So that equals square root. So x2. So we're going to have 2 take 3 all squared plus 4 take 1 all squared. So from that, we're going to have equals 2 take 3, so it's going to be negative 1 squared plus 4 take 1, which is going to give us 3 squared. So square root 1 plus 9, so the answer is square root 10 units. Part B. We got it again, got our facts at the top there. So we're going to have x1, y1, x2, y2. So there are our facts. We're now going to write our formula. So d equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared. I'm going to substitute in. So we're going to do our find it. So it's going to be x2, so it's going to be 2 take 1 squared plus 3 take 5 squared. So continue our find it section. So 2 take 1, it's going to be negative 1 squared plus 3 take 5 is going to be negative 2 squared. So the answer here is going to be 1 plus 4, so equals square root 5 units. But don't forget the units at the end, that is our fix-it section. So part C, again, writing our facts at the top. So I've got the numbers there, so it's going to be x1, y1, x2, y2. Do our formula, d equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 all squared. So we're now going to do our find it section. So I've written our formula down. So it's going to be 3 take 2 all squared plus 2 take 4 all squared. So it's going to be square root. 3 take 2 is 1 squared plus 2 take 4 is negative 2 all squared. So it's going to be square root of 1 plus 4. So it's going to be square root of 5 units. Part D, again, x1, y1, x2, y2. Formula, d equals square root x2 take x1 all squared plus y2 take y1 all squared. After written our formula, we do our find it, so we do our substitution in. So it's going to be 3 take 2 all squared plus 0 take negative 1 all squared. So 3 take 2 gives me 1 squared plus 0, take away negative 1, so it's going to be positive 1 squared. So 1 squared plus 1 squared is going to give me square root 2 units. E, distance again. Right, x1, y1, x2, y2. Then write our formula, d equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared. Then we substitute in. So equals square root x2, which is 5, take 0 squared plus negative 2 take 0 squared. So it's going to be square root 5 squared plus negative 2 squared equals square root 25 plus 4 equals square root 29 units. F, again, start with x1, y1, x2, y2. So labeling, then we need to write our formula down. D equals square root x2 take x1 all squared plus 2 take y1 all squared. Now we substitute in. So equals square root -3 take 4 squared plus 2 take -1. 2 take -1 all squared. So square root -3 take -4 is going to give me -7 squared plus 2 take -1 is going to give me plus 1, so it's going to be 3 all squared. That's square root 49 plus 9, so equals, what's that, square root 58 units. G, x1, y1, x2, y2. Write our formula. D equals square root x2 take x1 all squared plus y2 take y1 all squared. Substitute in. So now we're going to have square root 0 take 0 squared plus 7 take -3 all squared equals 0 squared plus 7 plus 3, so it's going to give us 10 squared. So it's going to be square root of 100, so it's going to be 10 units. Interesting one about this section here, both our x values are 0. Are 0, therefore vertical line. See? The vertical line. H, find the distance, so we've got x1, y1, x2, y2. So write our formula, D equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared. Substitute in our values. x2 is going to be 4 take 0 squared plus y2 is going to be 0 take -3 all squared equals square root 4 squared plus 0 take -3, so that's going to be plus 3, so it's going to be 3 squared, so equals square root 16 plus 9 equals square root 25, so equals 5 units. So for question 2, we need to be doing the same as question 1, except we're going to need to do it 3 times. Because we need to work out whether this triangle is equilateral, isosceles, or scalene by using each of those vertices, and whether it's a right angle or not. So we need to work out the distance between A and B. So therefore, we write down our facts first. So A is -2, 0. B is 4, 3. So it's going to be x1, y1, x2, y2. Our formula, D equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared. We substitute in square root 4 take -2 all squared plus 3 take 0 all squared. So it's going to be square root 4 plus 2 is going to be 6 squared plus 3 squared, so square root of 36 plus 9, so equals square root 45 units. So the next bit we need to do, we now need to work from A to C. So again, we're writing down, let's put a line down there, separate them out. So we're going to have A, which is -2, 0, and we're going to have C, which is going to be 6, negative 1. Again, label them, x1, y1, x2, y2. Write our formula, d equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared equals square root 6 take negative 2 squared plus negative 1 take 0 squared. So equals square root 6 take negative 2, so it's going to be 8 squared plus negative 1 squared. So it's going to be square root 64 plus 1 equals square root 65. The last one we need to work out, so we're going to need to work out BC. So here, BC, so B is 4, 3, C is 6, negative 1. Again, x1, y1, x2, y2. So we're doing all these separately. So D equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared. Substitute in our values with square root 6 take, well, we're looking at 6 take 4 squared plus negative 1 take 3 squared. So it's going to be square root 6 take 4 is 2 squared plus negative 1 take 3 is negative 4 all squared. So square root of 4 plus 16 equals square root 20 units. So to work out whether we've got an equilateral isosceles or scalene, we need to look at these things. No sides, same length. See? I'll put that back in. Therefore, we've got scalene. So that's for 1. 2, work out a right angle triangle. Remembering our right angle triangle, better put my units up here. If we look at a right angle triangle, the two sides here and here are the short ones, C being the long one. So the longest side here, so C squared, equals 65 units. Oh, so 65. And the other ones, so now we need A squared plus B squared. So that's going to be 45 plus 20, which happens to be 65. So we can say, therefore, this is, let me write that correctly, this is a right angle triangle. And the right angle is going to be at the point B. So this is the right angle at point B. Second one, let's work out this one here. So first of all, I'm going to work out AB. So A is negative 3, 0. B is 0, 3 root 3. So again, we go x1, y1, x2, y2. D equals square root x2 take x1 all squared plus y2 take y1 all squared. Substitute in our values. So equals square root 0 take negative 3 squared plus y, which is 3 root 3 take 0 all squared. So equals square root 3 squared plus 3 root 3 squared. So it's just as an aside, so 3 root 3 squared. So working out the long way, that's same as saying 3 squared times by root 3 squared. That's going to be 9 times by, now square root 3 times square root 3. When we do square root times square root, it just becomes a number underneath, so it's going to be 27. Otherwise, use calculator. Okay, but could be quite the area that you'll get a non-calculator question for. So here we're going to write that as square root 9 plus 27, so equals square root 36, so equals 6 units. Let's remove that. So next, let's just put a little line down here. Next, we're going to do AC. So A is -3, 0. C is 3, 0. So we've got x1, y1, x2, y2. So D equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared. So equals square root x2, 3, take x1, take -3 squared, plus y, which is 0, take 0 squared. So here we've got square root 3, take -3, so it's 3 plus 3, so it's going to be 6 squared, plus 0, so equals square root 36, so equals 6 units. Last one. We're going to have B, which is 0, 3, root 3, and C, which is 3, 0. So x1, y1, x2, y2. D equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared. Substitute in our values. Square root x2, which is 3, take 0 squared, plus 0 take 3 root 3 squared. So equals square root of 3 squared plus -3 root 3 squared equals square root 9 plus 27. Remember, as soon as you square a negative number, it's going to be the positive answer. So it's going to be square root 36, so equals 6 units. So for 1, all sides same length, therefore equilateral. 2, not right angle, because one of the things we know about equilateral triangles is they're called equilateral because they're equal angular, and therefore 90 sides can be right 90 degrees because all sides are 60 degrees. Part C, going through the same process again. So part C, I'm going to start off with A, which is 4, 2, B, which is -5, 3. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So D equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus 2 take y1 all squared. We now substitute in our values. So equals square root x2, which is -5, take away 4, plus, oh, don't forget it squared, y2, which is 3, take 2, all squared. So equals square root -9 squared plus 1 squared. So equals square root 81 plus 1, so equals square root 82 units. Separate our board up a little bit. So then I'm going to do A, which is 4, 2, and C, which is -1, -7. That's x1, y1, x2, y2. Formula D equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared. So that equals, substitute in our values, x2, -1, take 4 squared, plus -7, take 2 squared, equals square root, -5 squared, plus -7 take 2 is going to be -9 all squared. Square root 25 plus 81 equals square root of, so 80 plus 20 is 100, 5 plus 1 is 6, so 106 units. Go to our third side, and we're going to do B, which is -5, 3, and C, which is -1, -7. We now work out x1, y1, x2, y2, and D equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared equals square root x2, which is -1, take -5 squared, plus y2, which is -7, take 3 all squared. So -1 plus 5 is going to be 4 squared, plus -7 take 3 is going to be -10 squared. So equals square root 16 plus 100, so equals square root 116. So 1, it's scalene, and 2, we can automatically see there that there's no way that those three numbers will add up together to make the same, so therefore not right angle. The last one, we'll go through the same process again. A, which is -2, -15. B, which is 3, -4. So x1, y, y1, x2, y2. So D equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 all squared equals square root x2, which is 3, take -2 all squared plus, oh, wrong colour here, y2, which is -4, take -15 all squared. Just quickly grab that. It's not going to let me do it. That's okay. I'll do red down here. So now, last bit is square root. 3 plus 2 is going to be 5 squared, plus -4 plus 15 is going to give me 11 squared, so equals square root 25 plus 121, so equals square root 146 units. Next I'm going to do A, which is -2, -15, B, which is 3, no, I'm not going to do B, I've already done A and B, let's do C, which is -8, 1, so x1, y1, x2, y2, so D equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared. Hopefully by this stage you have not forgotten the distance formula. So substitute in square root x2, which is -8, take -2 plus y2, which is 1, take -15 squared. So that's going to be equal to -8 plus 2 is going to give us -6 squared plus 1 plus 15 is going to give us 16 squared. So equals square root 36 plus 16 squared, which is 296. Calculate it out the front. So we got 16 squared, 256. So 256 equals, add them together. So 36, 6 is 12, 3 plus 6 is 9, so 292 units. Go to the last side, so now we're going to have B, which is 3, negative 4, and C, which is negative 8, 1. So x1, y1, x2, y2. D equals square root x2 take x1 all squared plus y2 take y1 all squared equals square root x2 negative 8 take 3 all squared plus 1 take negative 4 all squared equals square root negative 11 squared plus 1 plus 4, which is 5 squared, so equals square root 121 plus 25, so equals square root 146 units. So if now we look at those three sides, we notice, we notice that AB equals BC, so therefore isosceles, and 2, the longest side, so C squared is going to be equal to square root 292 units. No, it's not square root 292. C squared is going to be 292. And so therefore A squared plus B squared is going to be 146 plus 146. And we add those together. 66 is 12. 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 1 plus 1 is 292. Therefore, right angle. For each of these cases below, find A and explain the result using a diagram. So in these questions here, we need to work out our facts again, but we're going to do our formula slightly differently. So that's going to be x1, y1. That's going to be x2, y2. That one there is D. So we have D equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared. So that's the same bit. This time, instead of trying to find D, we've already got it. So that's going to be 5. Square root. So when we do this now, x2 is going to be 1, take A squared, plus y, which is negative 1, take 2, all squared. So 5 equals square root of 1 take A all squared plus negative 3 squared. So opposite of square rooting is squaring, so we're going to get 5 squared equals 1 take A all squared plus 3 threes are 9. So opposite of adding 9 is taking 9, so it's going to be 25 take 9 equals 1 take A all squared. So 25 take 9 is going to be 16 equals 1 take A all squared. Next step, we're going to, opposite of squaring is square rooting. So I've got 1 take A, bracket, equals plus or minus square root 16. Because don't forget, we're going to have both a positive answer and a negative answer. So 1 take A equals plus or minus 4. So it can be both of them. So therefore, negative A is going to be 1 plus or minus 4. So negative A is going to be equal to 1 plus 4, which is 5, or 1 take 4, which is negative 3. Now we need to divide by negative 1, so A is going to be negative 5 or 3. So if we're going to look at this on a diagram and so forth, so if we've got our axes here, got x and we've got y, we know that b is 1, -1, so that point there approximately is going to be b. And so if it's going to be 5 units distance, we know it's got a big circle around the outside, and we need to know where y equals 2. So essentially around B we'll have a big circle. So let's draw one of those shapes. Where's my circle? And draw my circle. So that's 5 units long. And then A is going to be here at 2. And so we notice that here it crosses the circle twice. And that's going to be at 3 or -5. Because they are both 5 units away. Got to write those points in correctly. So that's going to be x equals, hang on, wrong line, sorry about that. There's a wrong line in. Let's just try that again. The point B. Y equals 2. So it's going to be a line across here. And so that point there is going to be -5, 2. And this point over here is going to be 3, 2. And what was that? I apologise. I've just found a mistake that I'd made back here. Change side, change operation. So I need to put a -1 plus the -4 there. So that's going to be -5 or +3. So therefore the answer is going to be +5 and -3. So when I draw my equation down the bottom here, my points through that point there is going to be -3, 2, and 5, 2. To get my 2 points, they're 5 units away from B. My mistake. Hopefully that will fix up that little bit there. Part B. We're going to follow through the same process. See? Just get back onto my bit that I was doing. Sorry about that, hit the wrong button. So for each of the following cases, find A. So again, we're going to go x1, y1, x2, y2, and that one there is going to be D. So D equals square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 squared. So now we're going to substitute in. D happens to be square root 13 equals square root x2, which is going to be 5, take x1, which is 3, all squared, plus y2, which is a, take -2, all squared. So square root 13 is going to be square root 5 take 3 is 2 squared, plus a take, so it's going to be a plus 2, all squared. Square both sides, so we've got 13 equals 4 plus a plus 2. Opposite of adding 4 is taking 4, so 13 take 4 is going to give me 9 equals a plus 2, all squared. So now we need to do the square root. So we're going to have the plus and minus square root 9 equals a plus 2. So do the opposite, so equals. Opposite of adding 2 is taking 2, so take 2 plus or minus 3. So therefore a is going to be -2 plus 3, which is going to give me 1, or -2 take 3, which is going to give me -5. So again, we need to draw our graph in. Got our point 3, negative 2, so we go up 3 of the x-axis, negative 2, so that's going to be point P. Again, we're going to draw our circle, shape, circle, draw that around there. We've got our point 5, so that's going to be over here somewhere. I find it is here at 5, 1, or 5, negative 5. As each one of those is square root 13 units apart. So that's this point and this point. Because that distance there is square root 13 units. Next one, for each of the cases below, find A, explain the results. So here we've got P is units from the origin. So that first of all, in here, an origin is 0, 0. So we can put that in there now. So now we're going to do x1, y1, that's going to be D, x2, y2. So just need to remember what the word origin means. That's the point 0, 0. So put our formula in, D equals x2 take x1 all squared plus y2 take y1 all squared equals square root x2, so that's going to be 0 take A all squared plus 0 take 2A all squared. And that's going to be equal to square root 5 units. So if we're now bringing that out, square root 5 equals square root of negative A squared plus negative 2A squared. So let's just square both sides. So now we've got 5 equals A squared plus 4A squared. So 8, anything, adds them together. So 1 apple plus 4 apples. So we've got 5 equals 5A squared. Opposite of timesing by 5 is dividing by 5. So I've got 1 equals A squared. So A equals plus or minus square root 1. So therefore A equals plus or minus 1. If we put that on our circle, on our bit here, there's our point 0, origin there. We draw our circle around that, shape, circle, so draw our origin around there, and we're going to go with 5 units on there for A and 2A. So A is 1, and so X is 1, and so we're actually going to end up with 4 points. So we're going to end up sort of there, 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 and there. Those 4 points. So that's going to be A is negative 1, negative 2. That's going to be 1, 2. That's going to be negative 1. Sorry. Let's change that up there. That's going to be 1, 2. Hey, that's not what I wanted. Let's just get rid of those circles. I apologise. Delete. Delete. So that's going to be 2. That's going to be negative 2. And that's going to be 1, negative 2. So that's all my 4 points. Substituting this plus or minus 1 into A2. Last one. For each of the cases below, find A and explain the results using a diagram. So A is 1A, and it's equidistant from both P and Q. So we can find the distance between A and P, and that distance happens to equal the distance between A and Q. So if we can equate them together. So let's have a look at that. AP, oops, let's get rid of that bit there. So A, which is 1A, and P, which is 3, negative 3. So x1, y1 x2, y2. So now we can work out a distance there. Square root x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 all squared. So that equals square root x2, which is 3, take 1 all squared, plus y2, which is negative 3, take a all squared. And the final step we can do there is square root. 3 take 1 is going to be 2, 2 squared is 4, plus negative 3 take a squared. Now we can work out the distance between a, which is 1a, and q, which is negative 2, 2. So d, so x1, y1, x2, y2. So d equals square root of x2 take x1 squared plus y2 take y1 all squared. Then we can now substitute in, so that is equal to square root x2, which is negative 2, take 1 all squared, plus y2, which is 2 take a all squared. So just simplifying that a little bit, so negative 2 take 1 is negative 3, so it's 9 plus 2 take a all squared. Now what we know is those two bits are equal. So we can say that square root 4 plus negative 3 take a all squared equals square root 9 plus 2 take a all squared. Square both sides, so we're going to have 4 plus negative 3 take a all squared equals 9 plus 2 take a all squared. Let's get like things onto the same side. So getting them on the same side, let's move that one, and that one, let's move 4 over this way, so therefore we're going to move that over that way. Just extend my page a little bit. So we're going to have negative 3 take a all squared, take away 2 take a all squared equals 9 take 4. Going into a little bit of quadratics, we know that that's a difference of 2 squares. So that's going to be factorised into negative 3 take a plus 2 take a, negative 3 take a take 2 take a. And that's going to be equal to 5. So we can now substitute in, solve those bits. So negative 3 plus 2 is going to give me 1. Negative a, so that's going to be negative 2a. And on the other one there, we're going to have negative 3 take 2, which is going to need negative 5. And negative a plus a, because negative times a negative is going to be positive. So we actually remove the a altogether from there. So now, what's the opposite of timesing by negative 5? Dividing. So 1 take 2a is going to be equal to negative 1. So negative 2a equals, negative 2, because opposite of adding 1 is taking 1. So a equals negative 2 divided by negative 2, which is going to be 1. And so that is one unique solution for that one there, where we're saying that that point there is equidistant from both of those 2 points.